So welcome everyone to today's interesting section. So Let's start joining as we go live in today's interesting section. Welcome everyone to today's interesting and wonderful section. So that's going to be a very wonderful section. So please along the way, if you have any question, if you need any clarification whatsoever, you're free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we move ahead in the course of today's interesting conversation. So if anyone has any question, if you need any clarification whatsoever, you can ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we move ahead in the course. So today we're talking about Omega Network. That is what we'll be focusing on in our discussion today. Omega Network. That is what we will be analyzing, trying to analyze what the project is actually really all about. So these are what we'll be looking at in the course of today's conversation. So please, if you're just joining us for the first time, in today's interesting section, I will say you're welcome to today's interesting section. So let's start joining. So we'll be analyzing this project on Gate.io. We'll be checking the tokenomics of this project. What is the project saying? What is it really all about? What are we expected to know about the project? All the basic information we need to know about this project. That is what we will be talking about in the course of today's conversation. So please, if you're just joining us, welcome to today's interesting conversation. So we're getting a basic understanding about what this um um mega omega network, what is it really about. What I'll actually tell you that this omega network is a kind of innovative, is a kind of an innovative proof of network or social media, or kind of a social network that is which is also a very important point that we need to understand when talking about what exactly this. Now, based on what we can see here, let's just give an explanation about what this network is really all about. Now, we have here is an innovative proof of networking social chain designed to create a kind of a secured, high performance and stable decentralized social platform. That is what is actually, that is just their goal. That is just a basic, that is just a foundation of what the project is actually really all about. So we have a lot to actually talk about in the course of today's discussion. We'll be analyzing this project on Gate.io. We're getting different ideas about what the project is actually really all about, what we need to know about it, what are the basic information we need to know when talking about this project. So these and many more we want to be looking at in the course of today's conversation. So please, let's keep joining. So please, if you have any question whatsoever, please, you are free to ask on the chat box so that we can do justice to it as we move ahead in the course of today's interesting conversation. So I'm just waiting for our question. I'm waiting for us to just show that we are online. You can just comment on the chat box to show that you are online and ready to ride on with what we have for today. So in beginning today's conversation, what do we need to understand when talking about this project? So what do you need to understand? What do we need to understand when talking about this play? What are the basic information that we need to understand when analyzing this play? Now, the first one important point we need to know, like I said earlier, now the Omega network is a kind of is an innovative proof of networking social chain designed to create a kind of a secure, high performance, and also stabilized decentralized social media. Now, by incorporating cutting-edge cryptography technology, a high stable consensus logarithm, a user-friendly design, and also a Omega network empowers users network to compete and also communicate and share information when make payments and also create a decentralized application while ensuring personal privacy and also data security. Now, this is just a basic explanation when trying to explain what this project is actually really all about, or explain what we need to know, what are the basic information we need to know when looking at this project. What are the basic information we need to take note of when talking about, when trying to analyze what this project is actually real about. This is just the foundation that gives us an idea of what we need to talk about, what we need to take note of when analyzing this project and all that. So all these are actually important point that we need to take note of when talking about this project, what we need to know about it, how can we actually go about. So now it should tell you that, okay, now based on what I just read for you guys, now it should give you an idea of what the project is actually really about. Also, we'll be looking at the total supply, the market cap, because that is how you know it's not just all about seeing the charts here on gate.io. It's not all about just the chart alone. You have to understand that, okay, yes, is this chart I'm talking about, is it tradable, is it good, is it a good sign of investment for me to actually go into, to actually invest in. Now looking at the market, looking at where it's currently as, now it's currently at 0.02 now, and before it has actually gotten to 0.03. It has to drop down and all that. Now it's back to 0.02 and others, and it came from this place 0.02. It came back up and all that. You can see the market has been, you can see this. So now will you call this one an uptrend in the market, or you can say that the market is actually recovering itself? So we'll actually be getting all the information. And one thing you have to know that, okay, this is just a token that is tradable on gate.io. Now the project itself, what is the project or the Omega network, what are they really all about, what are they building, what is their fundamental analysis, what is their fundamental analysis and all that. All these are actual technical analysis, and all these actually points that we need to understand when talking about this project. Like I said earlier in the course of today's section, I said Omega network is a kind of an innovative proof of networking social media, is a kind of an innovative proof of networking social media design, to create a form of a secure, to create a form of a secure and high performance and stable decentralized social media, which is one important factor that we must consider when talking about this token, or when trying to explain what this project is actually really all about. Now, by incorporating cutting-edge cryptographic technology, by incorporating this cutting-edge cryptographic technology, a kind of a highly scalable consensus logarithm and user-friendly design, Omega network empower users worldwide to communicate and share information, make payments, and also create a form of a decentralized application while ensuring personal privacy and data security. And you have to understand that is what the blockchain is actually real about. Now when you hear the word blockchain, I know that it has to do with privacy, it has to do with security. Now anything that is not giving you privacy, that is not giving you security, you tend not to go into it. But anything that is giving you privacy, that you know, okay, yeah, I'm going into this and I'm getting my privacy is going to be secured, and my data is actually going to be secured, you tend to go into it because you have trust in the system and other. Oh, hi, welcome, thanks for joining me, welcome in today's interesting section. Hi bro, welcome, thanks for connecting, welcome everyone, thanks for connecting, welcome. Thanks for connecting in today's interesting section. Thank you guys for connecting. So all these actually basic information we need to take note of when analyzing this token. Now we'll come back to actually analyze what this token is actually, what this project is actually saying currently in the market space. But let's get more fundamental. Let's look into the fundamental analysis of this project, getting more information. What is the project really all about? What is the project currently saying in the market? What we need to know about it. Now, what is the white paper currently saying when actually analyzing this project? So let's go into the white paper to get basic information about this project and what we need to know. Please kindly just follow me through as we go into the white paper. Now you can see the white paper, you can see the abstract. This is just the abstract. They have Omega network, the future of cryptocurrency. That is their motto. Their motto is the future of cryptocurrency. Now, based on the abstract, the Omega network is a kind of an innovative proof of networking social chain designed to create a secure, high performance, and also stable decentralized social platform. That is just it. When trying to give they're just trying to give an overview of what they are actually all about by incorporating cutting-edge cryptographic network, a high scalable, consensus, algorithm, and also a user-friendly design. And a user-friendly design, Omega Network empowers users worldwide to communicate, share information, make payments, and create a decentralized application while ensuring personal privacy and security, which is one important point we need to take note of when looking at this project and all that. So all these actually points that are very very important that we must take note of when analyzing, when trying to look at what this project is actually really all about, what we need to know about it, and all that. All these are actually important points that we must actually take note of. I believe you guys are following me and you guys are getting what I'm actually teaching out to you guys in the course of today's section. Now let's go into the introduction part to get basic information about it. I'll also be looking at the technonomies and all that today, and the foundation, the technical foundation about this project, what we need to know about it, and other. So all this information are actually very very important in analyzing this project, in getting basic information about what the project is actually really all about. So in moving ahead, in getting the introduction, as internet continues to advance, social media has become an integrated part of daily life of millions of users worldwide. Now, because of, remember their goal, one of their goal is to make use of the social media, to because of now our social media, because of the internet technology continues to advance, and that social media has become an integrate part of the daily life of millions of users worldwide. However, current social media platform faces several fundamental issues, including also privacy violation, centralized control, inefficiency, and other. Now, the Omega aims at addressing these challenges by leveraging the blockchain technology to build a more secure, sufficient, efficient, and also decentralized social ecosystem. And that, not looking at what they actually want to do, looking at what they're actually looking at. Okay, now the social media that we have is not actually centralized, is it's not actually decentralized. Privacy violation, centralized. Because of centralization, people, they can choose to take away your data, they can choose to share your data to some people, and all that, and all that. The inefficiency, sometimes you will see that, okay, they are off operation overnight and all that. Just imagine the owner of Ethereum. Now, the what actually brought Ethereum into, what actually brought Vinci to actually create Ethereum, was that he's a fan of playing games. And so when he was actually playing game, and he now discovered that overnight they just removed a character from the game that it was playing. Now that is the power of centralization, because they have control over the system, and that was what gave him the idea of bringing about this Ethereum that we know of, just trying to get something that decentralization. Now, and that is just what we are talking about, and the inefficiency on it. And that's why this Omega network is actually aimed at addressing the issue. And we know that this issue actually current issue that is currently ongoing in the human factors in our businesses and all that, trying to companies trying to take control of the system, or you can't actually do this, you can't actually do that in the system, and all that. Now, all these are actually, now they are just trying to leverage using the blockchain technology to build a more secure, efficient, and decentralized social network, another, which is one important point that we need to take note of when looking at when trying to explain what they are actually really all about. So all these actually basic information that we need to take note of when talking about decentralization. What are they really all about? What do we need to know about this project? Another, I believe you guys are following me and you guys are getting what I'm actually teaching now. So this is just the challenges that they are trying to fight, or they are trying to overcome. So now, Based on, even though if I don't go ahead to talk about more about it, this is just the fundamental. I'm just giving you guys an introduction to the fundamentals of this project, because you have to understand the fundamental of the project. You have to, before you go into the technical analysis of what the project is actually really all about. So I've given you guys the fundamental of what this project is actually about. So let's move ahead. We've not talked about the tokenomics. We've not looked at the token itself. The token itself in which you can trade .io. We're just looking at the Omega network, what they're actually really all about. What is their goal? What are they building? What is the roadmap? Who are the team behind it? What is the use cases? What all about their testness? Did they have a testness, or they just came out all of a sudden? So all these points are actually what we need to know when talking about this project. And now the technical foundation, what is the technical foundation of this Omega network? Now Omega network employs innovative consensus algorithm that guarantee high throughput and system stability. Now this consensus logarithm allows a rapid transaction processes and also confirmation without compromising security, catering for a kind of a high performance requirement of social application. Therefore, the Omega network prioritize private individual users privacy and data, and kind of a data security, using advanced encryption technical to safeguard users communication and information, which is one important point. And the next one also is the key. What is their key features? The first one is decentralized identity management. And also, apart from that, we have content monetization, we have decentralized storage, we have privacy control, and all that. So all these actually the key features when trying to look at what the project is actually all about. These are just the key features that we need to take note of when actually looking at this project, when trying to key into this project, or know, okay, this is what this project is actually really about. This is how we can actually go about it when looking at this project. And please, if you're listening to me and you're yet to follow my profile, please kindly do follow my profile, so that whenever I'm live, you'll be seeing me file live whenever I'm live, and you won't miss out on any section as we keep moving forward in the course of today's interesting conversation. Please, so if you're yet to follow my profile, please kindly do follow my profile. If you're listening to me, kindly do follow my profile, so we'll all connect together and enjoy this interesting section that we are actually looking at in the course of today's interesting conversation. So these are all basic information we need to take note of when talking about this project. What are they really all about? What we need to know about them, and all that. All these are actually basic information that we need to actually take note of when analyzing this project. And the first one we have here is decentralized identity management. When talking about decentralized identity management, what are we talking about? Now, the Omega network incorporates a decentralized identity management system, enabling users to own and control their identity securely and all that. Now, they actually helps you to own your identity, also control it when looking at it, when trying to go into it and all that. Now, by also utilizing advanced cryptography techniques such as zero knowledge proof and also decentralized identity, Omega network ensures the user personal information remain private and secure, while still allowing the seamless identity verification while required and all that. So all these are actually important. And also we have content monetization. Users can monetize their content through reward token. That means you can have your token. You can actually have your token and also monetize your token and all that. And the way you can actually go about it is through how can users can actually monetize their token through can actually monetize their kind of their content through token reward, promoting content creation, and also sharing it within the platform. Now, the Omega network employs an innovative tokenomics based model on smart contracts and cryptographic algorithm to fairly and transparently distribute awards to content creators, foster a safe ecosystem, and also a kind of a free ecosystem, and apart from that, and also user generates content and all that, foster a retrieving ecosystem of user generated content and all that. And also another point we need to understand is decentralized storage. Decentralized storage is also a very important point that we need to understand. Now this distribute storage technology provide redundant and fraudulent tolerance and consensual resistance, ensuring that users data remains secure and accessible across the network. That is one point we need to, that is one goal we need to understand when analyzing what is it really all about, taking note of what they are actually really all about, what we need to take note of, or what we need to know when talking about this and all that. And also we have privacy control. Now when looking at privacy control, users can define the level of privacy of their content, ensuring personal information is only shared with intended recipients and others. Now, the Omega network employ cutting-edge private enhanced technology like also the roll up to enable users to interact with the platform without revealing their incentive data when looking at it and others. So all these are actually, now these techniques allow efficient transaction process while preserving user privacy, provide an optimal balance between performance and also security, which is one point, which is a very important point that we need to take note of when looking at this project and others. So all these I'm actually talking about are important points we need to take note of when talking about this project, when talking about what are they really all about, how can we actually go about it and all that. So what is the consensus? Let's go to the consensus about this project that we're actually talking about. What is the consensus about this project that we're actually talking about? So what is the consensus about this project that we're actually talking about in the course of today's conversation? Now the optimal proof of stake consensus mechanism provide kind of process is several extensive features that makes it an interactive option for the world of cryptocurrency with low transaction cost, maximum transaction delay, and high transaction um occurrence. Now also delivers, and also the maximum proof of stake delivers an efficient and user friendly experience for crypto enthusiasts and all that. Now the consensus mechanism supports the maximum support a kind of a maximum of 21 validators, which keeps tracks a balance between decentralization and performance. By limiting the number of validators, the network can reach consensus more quickly, resulting to fast transaction times and improved scalability, which is which is very important that we need to take note of. At the same time, the optimum proof of stake mechanisms ensure that validators can select through a fair and transparent process. And apart from through a fair and transparent process and all that, now open up and core principle of decentralization. In summary, the consensus mechanisms combine the best aspects of performance and decentralization to create a kind of a robust, and efficient blockchain network, which is very important that we need to take note of in the ecosystem. And so all these are actually important points that are very important that we need to take note of when looking at and when trying to explain what the ecosystem is actually really all about, what we need to know about it and other. So all these are actually important points that we need to take note of when analyzing, when talking about the ecosystem, when talking about what they are actually really all about, when talking about what they are actually really all about and all that. All this actually important information that we need to actually take note. I believe you guys are following me and you guys are getting what I'm actually dishing out to you guys in the course of today's interesting conversation. And also, what other thing now, when talking about the validators, a account becomes a validator by posting some amount of coin in the short bond. Now once the bond transaction is committed, the validators can participate in consensus protocol with voting power in proportion to the number of coin bond and order. Now the bonded coin cannot be used in any transaction except for unborn transaction and others. So all these actually important points we need to. So let's look at the roadmap. What is the roadmap? What categories? What where are they right now in the roadmap? Where do they actually see themselves and what they've actually done? Now, based on this roadmap, I believe everyone can see the roadmap on my screen. I believe everyone can see the roadmap. Based on this roadmap, what can you see here? You can see here 2020, like last year, they had the idea. They actually launched the website. They actually launched a beta version Omega app on Google Play Store and all that. And also they actually establish a form of establish a social media network. And apart from them establishing it, they also launched the official version on Play Store and all that. The mind, the referral and invite program, the white paper. The white paper was actually released. The seed round fundraiser and other. They have private. They have initial DIO as at 2020. The second quarter of 2023, they had the Omega testnet, the Omega test cross chain bridge. They have the KYC process. They have the update white paper version 2.0. They have the top tie with Twitter and also YouTube partnership. They have the contract audits and all that. So all these actually now you can see it here. You can see I also have I also minted this Omega token. I actually minted this Omega network. Did I still have it on my device? Yeah, did I still have this Omega? Oh yeah, I still have it on my device. Omega Network, I still have it here. So I still have. I just remember that. Yeah, I know that at some point in time I actually minted this. So all these are actually important information that we need to. So this was what actually gave birth to this token that we are currently seeing on. So it was actually a process that over time they've proven themselves, and right now it's currently on Gate.io that you can actually trade on. So it's actually a good project that you are looking, if you are looking for projects to actually invest in. This is actually a good project that you can actually look into in investing in and other. So all these are actually important points we need to take note of when talking about this product. What are they really all about? What do we need to know about it and all that? Now, based on what you can see, you can see the tokenomics, you can see the exchange and liquidity 9%. You can see the public sales, and the public sales has just 1%. And all that, all these are actually important points. All this that we are seeing here actually very, very important when talking about projects like this, when talking about what are they really all about, what we need to know about them, and that is very, very important that we take note of all these points. This is very, very important that we take note of all these points when analyzing this project and other. So this one we have here right now, we have a based on what we have here, we have 1% for the public sales. The staking reward was around 5%. The users miners was around 30%, and other the node miners 35%, and the seed round was around 5%. The DIO was around 0.5%. They have 10% for treasury. The reserve was 5%. Staking reward was actually 5%. If you add everything, to give you 100% of what they've actually been staking or invest. Now the total supply of the token is around 970 million token. The total supply of this token is around 970 million token and that is the total supply that they currently have in the market. Now the Omega V 2.0 token economic enable users to reap reward early for and also fully enjoy the results of their own efforts. Others have completed ownership of their token and can freely trade grant coin holders benefit within the Omega network ecosystem and serve as their own voting rights and others. So all these actually basic points we need to know when talking about what the project is actually really all about, what we need to know about it, what are the basic information we need to know about. All these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note. I believe you guys are fully, you guys are getting what I'm actually dishing out to you guys in the course of today's conversation. Please if you have any question whatsoever, you're free to ask on the chat box, in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's interesting conversation. So now What other points, what other information we need to understand? Now you can see the coin distribution, how many it has been distribution. You can see 25, you can see 30. Mining was around 30%. The node mining was around 35%. The seed was around 4%, pre-sale 1%, and all that. That was how it was actually being distributed when looking at it. The total supply was around 970 million. The Omega user actually has their own, in which was around 35% users, miners, and others. So all these are actually important points we need to talk about. We need to take note of when talking about this project. What are they really all about? And that is very, very important. Now the mining rules and policy. Now there are 4 rules for Omega, the Omega network miners details. Now we have the pioneer. The pioneer actually has their own percentage in which they get. When we have the ambassadors, we have validators, we have the trainers, and others. So all these are actually ways in which you can actually earn from, you can actually mine and actually earn when looking at the ecosystem. And so each participant receive the Omega network at the determined Omega rate by entering the app and clicking start button once every 24 hours. You do not need to open the after you click start button still, and also still automatically start every 1 hour on its own. Now you stop receiving after 24 hours until you click start again to actually begin another 24 hours when looking at it. You can also open the app to make transactions when looking at it, and for example pay Omega with another pioneer or make a form of transaction another. And you can also earn this by through ambassadors can actually earn from this another. And the Omega network app refers users, referrer is other users on the Omega network. Now they can provide at least 5 people per annum who they know and trust. This contribution will help the Omega network become globally trusted. When you forget about your account and all that, it is possible to recover your account by asking the 5 people of their security in the security side to send information to the core team. This is part of the related to the issue of account authentication, which we predetermine the 4th quarter of May 2023. And also you earn through validators when looking at, and also trainers. When you train, you tend to trainers who help people understand the Web3 and join the Omega network ecosystem. They are leaders and team, their find and their team and all that, finding to exploit this NFT and all that. All these are actually important points we need to know when talking about this ecosystem. What we need to know about it, how can we actually go about it, and so all these actually important points we need to note, we need to take note of when talking about this. Now in preparation of the forthcoming launch of this Omega net, the testnet has been established by incentivize users' participation and ensure a successful and minute launch and all that. The purpose: the most active users on the net will receive reward of their contribution. Now and all that. Now we actually have a form of way in which they actually build it and order to make it more easier for people to actually make use of it when looking at it. And so all these are actually important points we need to know when talking about this project. What are they really all about and order? Now what is now the use case? What is the use case of this project when looking at it? The first one is decentralized social networking. That the first use case is a form of decentralized social networking. The second one is decentralized marketplace. We also have decentralized finance integration. We also have decentralized content platforms. All these are actually important points that are very, very important that we need to actually take note of when talking about this project, what they're actually really all about, what we need to know about them when trying to explain what they're actually really all about and all that. I believe you guys are getting what I'm dishing to you guys in the course of today's conversation. Please if you have any question whatsoever, if you need any clarification whatsoever, you're free to ask on the chat box, in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's interesting conversation. So please and please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box, in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's conversation. So all these actually important points that we need to take note of, that are very very important, we need to take note of when analyzing this token, when trying to talk about, okay, this is what is the token is actually really all about. This is how we can actually go about the token. And so what is the use case? The first use case is decentralized social networking. Now we're talking about decentralized social networking. What do we mean? What do we mean by decentralized social networking? Now, what we mean by this is that the users can create and manage their own social profile, connect and also connect with friends, family, and engage on various online activities within a secure and decentralized environment. That is it. That is the first use case of this project when looking at it. So it actually has a very a strong use case that we need to actually take note of when looking at this project. It actually has a strong use case when actually looking at it or trying to get idea of what they are actually really all about. And also the second one is decentralized marketplace. Social chain can support decentralized marketplace where users can buy, sell, and trade goods and services using a native token platform and other. That is also another point where that is one of the that is another use case that we need to take note of when looking at this token, when looking at what the token is actually really all about. So all these points I'm giving out are actually structured, are actually important factor that you must consider before investing in the project. Now, what is their use case? The first one, we say that the first one of this project, of this Omega network, is decentralized social networking. The second one is decentralized market space. Remember the word decentralization. We all understand what decentralization is actually really all about, and it's actually giving us a form of a decentralized marketplace and also decentralized finance, that is DeFi integration. Now, what do we mean by this decentralized finance integration? Now, the social platform, the social chain can actually integrate DeFi services, enabling users to access various financial products and services such as lending, borrowing, staking on the platform. So that is how unique the platform is. That is one of their use cases. That is one of their goal, and more use cases are actually still coming on board. Based on what we can see, you will notice that more use cases are actually coming on board when looking at this project. And so if you're here to start trading on this project, this is actually a good project that you can actually look out for in trading on. And also the last one, also the last use cases we have here is decentralized content platform. Now, what do we mean by decentralized content platform? Now, the social chain can actually facilitate the creation of decentralized content platforms such as blogging, video sharing, and more, empowering content creators and consumers alike when looking at it. So all these actually important factors that we must consider, we must take note of when analyzing, when talking about what this project is actually really all about, what we need to take note of when analyzing this project and all that. I believe you guys are getting what I'm actually dishing out to you guys in the course of today's conversation. So what else do we need to know? What is the next one that we need to know when talking about this project, when talking about what we need to know about this project and all that? What are the important information we need to know about it and all that? What are the next information we need to know about it? Now, we have community engagement and growth. Now, they also have community engagement and growth, which is also another important factor that we must actually now we must take now the engaging community is vital in the success of any decentralized community. So community, now there is any project that is actually coming on board without any community, that project is questionable. It's very very questionable. Any project that's actually coming on board that does not have a community, that is not actually working in building, even though if they don't have a community, they are not actually working in building a community, that project is actually questionable. So any project that's actually coming on board that they actually build a very a good community and other, that project is actually something that you should actually look out for. So anything decentralization, is very vital for any form of decentralization, for it to grow, for the project to actually be successful. It needs community. Decentralization needs community for it to actually grow. Now, the Omega network aims to create to create a kind of a vibrant and collaborative environment to implement various community engagement. And one of this community environment is regular community updates and also communication channels to ensure transparency and maintain an open dialogue with users. So they are all trying to create a kind of a community where it's going to be opened, when constant update is going to be dropped, information is about the project is actually going to ensure transparency and maintain an open dialogue with users when looking at it on the real sensor. So all these are actually important factors that we must take note of. And also another one is developers support program, and also grant the courage to grant the courage and creation, innovation, decentralization, application, and also solution. So all these are actually important points we need to take note of. And also we have education resources and also workshop to empower users and developers with the necessary knowledge to utilize the Omega network platform in Omega platform effectively and others. So all these are actually important points we need to take note of when talking about this project, when trying to analyze what the project is actually real about, what we need to take note of when looking at this project and other. And also we have the fourth one. The fourth one has to do with organizing conference, other events to promote the network and collaborate within the community to foster more people to coming on board in getting an edge when looking at it and other. Now, to foster a strong sense of unity and collaboration, the Omega network regularly organizes and sponsor events like conferences, meetup. This gathering provide opportunity for community members to network, share ideas, collaborate on projects, strengthening the bond within the Omega network community and drive the project success to a greater height. And so they're actually doing all this to actually build more community, to expand their reach and all that. So now, who are the founder? What are the core team behind this project? So this project was actually registered as a private limited company in the United Kingdom, which you can check on them to actually find. And it was actually the founder of this and the CEO. The founder and the CEO is actually James Brown. James Brown is actually the founder and actually the CEO of this Omega network. And also he will appear in public when Omega network actually enters the minutes phrase when looking at it on the real sense. And so all these are actually important points that we need to take note of when we need to understand when looking at this project, when talking about what. Oh, great, thank you so much for that comment. So all these are actually important points that we need to take note of, we need to consider when looking at this project, when talking about trying to analyze what this project is actually really all about. What are the basic information we need to understand when talking about this project. And also you can also check them on Twitter. They have to have their Twitter page, and order their Telegram, their Facebook, their YouTube channel. They also have a YouTube channel. They also have a YouTube channel. They also have a YouTube channel where you can actually go into to get more information, more updates about the ecosystem and all that. So all these actually important points that we need to take note of when talking about the blockchain ecosystem. What we need to know about it, what are the basic information we need to know about. I believe you guys have gotten a lot from what I've actually shared with you guys in the course of today's interesting conversation. So please, if you get to start trading this project on Gate.io, please kindly start trading on this. Actually a good project that you can actually look out for in trading and getting huge profit in a long run when looking at it and all that. Well, we don't have a code for today, no red carpet for today, but subsequently tomorrow probably I'll be distributing red carpet. I distributed yesterday, so probably tomorrow I'll be distributing to everyone listening to me. So thank you guys for connecting live with me in today's session. We've actually come to the end of today's conversation. I believe you guys have gained a lot from what I've actually shared with you guys in today's conversation. Please if you have any question whatsoever, please, you are free to ask on the chat box. Answer of any question. We've come to the end of today's conversation. Thanks so much. Thanks to everyone that actually connected live with us in today's conversation. See you the same time tomorrow for another interesting conversation. Stay blessed, guys, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye, guys.